Imagine working a late-night shift, just trying to make ends meet, when a group of arrogant millionaires decides to humiliate you in front of an entire bar. But what they didn't know was that you carried a secret so powerful, it would silence the room in a single heartbeat. This is the story of Maya, a young black waitress whose hidden tattoo changed everything the night Arab millionaires tried to break her spirit. It was a Friday night in downtown Manhattan, the kind of night when the city pulsed with energy. Bars buzzing, music pouring out of doorways, and people filling the sidewalks with laughter and chaos. Inside one particular upscale bar, the kind of place where cocktails cost more than most people's daily wages, the staff was already overwhelmed. Waitresses darted between tables, balancing trays of martinis and champagne flutes. The air was filled with chatter, clinking glasses, and bursts of drunken laughter. And at the very center of it all was Maya. Maya was 26 years old, a hardworking waitress who had been grinding double shifts for months to pay for her mother's medical bills. She wasn't the kind of woman who liked the spotlight. She kept her head down, did her job, and tried to avoid drama. But that night, drama found her. Around 10 p.m., the doors swung open, and in walked a group of 4 Arab millionaires. Their presence was impossible to ignore. Expensive tailored suits, diamond watches that glittered under the dim lights, and the kind of arrogance that made the air in the room shift. People whispered as they entered. Everyone knew these men. They had money, power, and the audacity to act like the world was theirs. They claimed the best table in the house without even asking, and Maya was assigned to serve them. As she approached with her notepad and her practiced polite smile, she could already feel the tension. The men looked her up and down, not with respect but with entitlement. "Bring us your finest whiskey, the most expensive bottle you've got," one of them ordered without even glancing at the menu. Maya nodded calmly. "Of course, sir." But their eyes lingered on her longer than necessary. It wasn't just about the drinks, it was about testing her boundaries. Over the next hour, the men grew louder and more reckless. They ordered bottle after bottle, laughing too hard at their own jokes, snapping their fingers at Maya as though she was a servant. First, she endured it. She had dealt with difficult customers before. She told herself to stay professional. But soon, their behavior escalated. One of them, clearly the ringleader, leaned closer when Maya placed down another glass. "You hide too much under that uniform," he said in a thick accent, smirking. "What are you afraid of showing?" Maya froze. She forced a polite smile, stepping back, but his friends roared with laughter. Another chimed in. "Maybe she's hiding something. A secret? A tattoo? Something forbidden?" They laughed again, and Maya's heart tightened. If only they knew. By midnight, the bar was packed, every table filled, every eye occasionally drifting to the loud, extravagant group of millionaires. Then it happened. As Maya leaned in to place another tray of drinks, the ringleader reached out, quick as lightning, and ripped the top of her blouse, exposing part of her shoulder and back. The sound of fabric tearing cut through the noise of the bar. Gasps filled the air. The entire room froze. And there it was. Tattoo. Bold, inked across her shoulder blade. But it wasn't just any tattoo. It was a large, detailed image of a woman raising a clenched fist, wrapped in chains but breaking free. Underneath it, words in Arabic. "Freedom is not given. It is fought for." The irony was instant. The millionaires who thought they were exposing her had instead revealed something that cut deeper than they could imagine. The bar fell into stunned silence. The millionaires' laughter died instantly. Their eyes widened, confusion flickering across their faces. They had expected embarrassment, shame, maybe tears. But Maya didn't cower. She straightened her back, her torn blouse hanging loosely, her tattoo glowing like a badge of honor under the dim lights. And then, in a calm, steady voice that carried across the room, she said, "This tattoo is for my grandmother, a woman who fought for her freedom while people like you tried to buy it." The silence grew heavier. Even the bartender stopped polishing glasses. "You thought you could humiliate me," she continued. "But all you did was remind everyone here that money can't buy respect." Whispers rippled through the crowd. "She's incredible," someone murmured. Did you hear what she said? Another whispered. And then, as though on cue, people began to clap. First a few scattered hands, then more, until the entire bar was applauding. The millionaires sat frozen, their arrogance melting into discomfort. The room that once admired their wealth now despised their cruelty. They had lost control. The bar manager, who had witnessed everything, stormed over. His face was red with fury, not at Maya, but at the men. "You've crossed a line," he said firmly. "You're not welcome here. Get out." The millionaires sputtered in protest. "Do you know who we are?" one of them barked. But it didn't matter anymore. The crowd wasn't on their side. Security moved in, guiding them toward the door. Their protests were drowned out by the sound of applause. Applause for Maya. When the chaos finally died down, Maya stood quietly behind the bar, her blouse still torn, her tattoo fully visible. For the first time in years, she didn't feel the need to hide it. One of the regular customers approached her gently. "That was brave," he said. "You turned their cruelty into power." Maya smiled faintly, her eyes glistening. "It wasn't bravery. It was survival. My grandmother always told me, never let anyone write your story for you." Later that night, when the bar finally closed, Maya sat alone for a moment, tracing her fingers across her tattoo. She thought of her grandmother, of the struggles she endured, of the chains she broke. She realized something important. Humiliation only works if you allow it. But dignity? Dignity is something no one can take, unless you let them. And that night, Maya didn't just serve drinks. She served a lesson. One that silenced arrogance with truth. Asterisk, the millionaires left the bar that night not with pride, but with shame. And Maya? She left with something far more valuable than tips. She left with the respect of an entire room, and the unshakable reminder that strength isn't about money or power. It's about resilience. It's about refusing to break, even when the world tries to tear you apart. So remember this. No matter how powerful someone seems, the truth you carry inside can silence even the loudest arrogance. Just like Maya's tattoo silenced that bar forever. Asterisk.